All right. I think we're going to go ahead and get going here. All right, you guys. So everyone, greetings, welcome. All right, I'm super excited to be here. Let's get going. So thank you for joining us, dear viewer. Today's topic is going to be Journey to E-commerce. I'm Indiegogo's Senior Hardware Manager, Stacy Bradford. I've consulted countless entrepreneurs and creators in bringing their ideas to life. And in doing so, I've helped I've empowered entrepreneurs in raising scores of millions of dollars on Indiegogo. So what's Indiegogo, one may ask? Well, we're one of the world's largest crowdfunding platforms. We've launched crowdfunding campaigns on essentially every continent, sans Antarctica. We are known for being the world's first. So if you're out there in Antarctica, email me, stacy@indiegogo.com. I'll get you launched. I want to be the first person to do that. So yes. So now joining me today are my co-hosts from Amazon Launchpad. So that would be Casey Rogers down here and Marion Desmaizières. I hope I got that right. And so accompanying us, and we'll get to them here in a moment. Don't worry. This ain't the Stacy Bradford show. I'm not just going to be monologue Bradford over here. But accompanying us are going to be accompanying our esteemed co-hosts are going to be entrepreneurs, in fact, that are quite familiar with crowdfunding and Amazon Launchpad itself. These entrepreneurs are Aaron Inverde, founder of Alti Farm, and launched the blockbuster earlier this year, Pico. Good on you down there. And then we also got Ray Wu, CEO and co-founder of Wind. Hey, Ray. All right. So everyone's going to have an opportunity to introduce themselves here in a moment. So everyone's going to have that opportunity. But first, allow me to share with you what we'll be discussing today. So what are the topics? What are we going to be chatting about? All right. Well, we're going to do a brief introduction of the panel and then a brief introduction of Amazon Launchpad. We'll have a panel discussion focusing on the entrepreneur's journey from ideation to crowdfunding to post-crowdfunding, and then you guessed it, e-commerce. And if there's time, a Q&A. And we're going to get to all of that and more. And now allow me to bring in my panel here for discussion. Aaron, let's begin with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thank you for inviting. I'm humbled. We are a small startup, Altifam Envede, based across US and India. At the moment, I'm in Bombay. And we help people grow fresh produce at home. It was Indiegogo who launched us way back in 2017. We launched a first product called the orange one in the background, Alti Farm, the vertical home farm thing. And then we had Herb Station. We had, everyone knows us for this tiny little Pico product. Yeah, and we launched 5 products in 5 years, and we've had a good stint with Amazon, and people like Marian has helped us immensely with the Launchpad platform, and it's been good. So really excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, 5 products in 5 years. I would have a lot of gray hair, but you don't have any gray hair at all over there. So it took a little bit out of you. All right, we'll come back to that because that's I want to double click into that. We'll come back to that here in a moment. Ray, tell us a little about yourself, man.
Great. Thanks for the background and intro opening the session. I'm also happy and excited to be here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Wind. We are an indoor air quality company focused on improving the environment so people can be healthy. I started the company about 7 years ago. My background is a blend of both engineering. I went to MIT, and also business. I was in private equity tech investing for a number of years before this, and I wanted to combine the tech and the business side to start and run my own company. And at a high level, we basically monitor and improve indoor environments. And we've done a number of crowdfunding, which I'm sure we'll get to, and also the transition to e-commerce and beyond as well. So we'll love to engage and talk about that.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that sounds great. We're gonna get into all of that. Thank you, Ray. And now, Marion, you're up.
Thanks, Stacy. Thanks for having me. My name is Marion Desmazières, also known as Marion here in the US. I've been at Amazon for over 8 years in tech and business development roles, primarily working with entrepreneurs, small businesses. I've been with the Amazon Launchpad program for over a year now. I'm a senior account executive, which means I find up and coming brands like Wind or Ultifarm on channels like Indiegogo, and I help founders apply to Amazon Launchpad and potentially get enrolled to support their journey on Amazon.
Fantastic, fantastic. And now we have Casey. Casey, it's your soapbox, buddy.
Perfect, thank you. First of all, it's great to be here. Thanks for all the panelists for joining today. This is the second year that we've done this with Indiegogo. We did it last March, and that was kind of the beginning of COVID and utilizing Zoom and doing online calls. Now it's a staple for us. So hopefully we'll have no glitches. But so background on my end. So I work on the business development team within Amazon Launchpad. Been on the team for 6 years now. I'm a colleague of Marianne's, and my role is to go out and chat with startup companies and entrepreneurs, primarily looking for products that are unique, innovative, differentiated in the marketplace. But looking forward to chatting about these brands' journeys through crowdfunding, Indiegogo, and Amazon Launchpad, and hopefully it's insightful and a good learning experience for everybody today.
Well, I'm ready to learn. Allow me to be both student, muse, and co-host. And on that note, tell us a little bit about Amazon Launchpad over here.
Yeah, perfect. So to start out, Amazon Launchpad first originated back in 2015 and has since grown into a global program with a mission to identify disruptive brands that fulfill customer needs either through life upgrading innovation or by highlighting a brand's unique story. Launchpad accelerates the growth of emerging brands while increasing shopper traffic and product discoverability. Launchpad helps customers shop a curated selection of unique and innovative products, certified Black-owned businesses, and products enrolled in the Climate Pledge Friendly program. Our goal is to identify high potential brands earlier in their life cycle, which is why we've teamed up with Indiegogo. And we aim to help brands achieve the highest probability of success in Amazon's online store and in the Launchpad program. So for today, I want to cover 3 different areas, including presentation, discoverability, and additional tools and support on behalf of Launchpad. So starting with presentation, brands in Launchpad have immediate access to what we call Premium A+ content. Premium A+ is a best-in-class offering for supplemental marketing content on your Amazon listing, or what we call your detail page. With Premium A+, brands are able to publish highly differentiated content on their detail page to help better educate customers on their product or brand story. This helps customers make a more informed buying decision and can drive incremental sales, as a better informed customer generally has a higher conversion rate. The 21 different Premium A+ modules include widescreen formatting as well as sections to incorporate additional video content into their listing on Amazon. Second, Launchpad drives discoverability. So Launchpad's designed to help products get discovered faster by offering merchandising such as storefront placements, editorial content, category focus emails, and much more. And lastly, we offer additional tools and support, including access to strategic account management for brands once they hit certain sales thresholds, waive deals fees for 1 deal per week, whether that's a 7-day deal or lightning deal. We waive the fees for Amazon Vine and reduce fees for running coupons, to name a few. Amazon Launchpad also provides selling partners access to the Launchpad brand portal, which is our online dashboard integrated within your Seller Central account, which provides access to pilot programs, additional tools, and the ability to contact our Launchpad benefit support team. So now to switch gears and talk a little bit about what we're looking for. So Launchpad supports both net new and existing sellers who have professional selling accounts. At the time of enrollment, the seller account must be under 4 years old and doing under $5 million in their gross merchandise sales. The Launchpad program is available at no additional costs, and benefits are designed to help brands accelerate over time, so a 12-month commitment is required. At the end of the event today, we're going to provide a link showing where you can apply to become a part of the Launchpad program as well. And you can also check out the Launchpad's online store by going to amazon.com/launchpad. Now I'm going to kick it back over to Stacy to start our discussion with our brand panelists.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Welcome back. So yeah, thanks, Casey. Thank you very much. So we're gonna get in here with the founder of All2Farm and then also the founder of Wind here in a second. So you know, this is both of whom I'm very excited to speak to. So I'm very passionate about energy, green tech, and sustainability. And in fact, I've led a company initiative that led Forbes to refer to Indiegogo as the industry leader, crowdfunding industry leader in energy, green tech, and sustainability. So I personally am very excited to speak to you guys. And, you know, both, I'll open up the floor with you, Ray. Tell me a little bit about, you know, what was it? So at Indiegogo, you know, it's our mission to bring ideas to life. So tell us first about how you got your idea and where it came from.
Sure. So to go all the way back, I was born in Beijing, and Beijing has a pretty well-known problem around air pollution. And while I lived, you know, my hometown is in Orange County and all that, I would go back every single year, visit my relatives. My dad lives there, he works there, and I would notice the fog in the air, and over time people realize that's actually tremendous amounts of particulate matter and smog and air pollution.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start a company that could help people live their best lives, and be able to find, in some ways, the freedom to not just understand their air quality, but also to create a safe haven for themselves wherever they go. The first product that we launched really had that ideal in mind, right? The emotional side of what we're trying to create is really every single person deserves to be their own superhuman version of themselves. They have aspirations to do many different things, you know, work, home, play, etc. And sometimes the environment gets in the way, right? And not everybody lives in Beijing and is engulfed in smog, but there's allergens, there's things in the air. Obviously, in the last 2 years, we obviously didn't forecast this, but you know, with the disease as well, things get in the way of people doing their everyday lives. And so the first product really was about enabling almost this bubble of clean air around themselves, and it's intelligent to, you know, clean and monitor and give you information, but also just automate itself so that you put it down next to you and you get this little bit of safe haven, right, that you can bring with you wherever you go. So that was kind of how we first started, and happy to chat about, you know, how that progressed and also how we launched and stuff.
Yeah, well, fret not, dear viewer. We're going to get into all of that in a little bit more, but I want to bring Aaron in here, right here. So now tell us a little bit about how you came up. What was the germ of All2Farm?
Back in the day, I used to run a boutique product design studio, my wife and I. We used to take up occasional small projects to do product development, and we did everything, you know, early days of IoT and gadgets and tech and automotive and 3D printing and pilot production, all that. So at one point I thought there has to be something that we could build ourselves as our own brand, because my learning as a service provider, you know, as a designer at that point was getting tapered out. Thought, why don't we put it to something? And then looking for ideas around me. I mean, everything else was pretty saturated. Early days of wearables and all that. Everybody was doing a lot of, what's the industry where not much of thought is went into, you know? And I realized I was 100% successful in killing plants. So I thought, why not put some thought into that and make it easy for an absolute idiot like me, who got nothing to do with plants, to be able to.
Well,
You know?
killing plants over there. I believe that was actually how David Byrne came up with the idea for Psycho Killer for Talking Heads. But go on.
So I had a client at that point of time from Switzerland, and he wanted to build a big pyramid-like structure with granite and marble and all for plants. So I thought, take the idea, the essence of that idea, and adopt it into the indoor space. And that's how we came up with All2Farm. And at that point, we were still a design studio. And just to try our luck, we thought, somebody suggested crowdfunding. And I used to see a lot of cool projects on Indiegogo. And it was like, this is a dumb product, you know, there's not much of tech in it. So we just tried our luck with Indiegogo, and it hit $100,000, and which made me realize that it was a series of serendipitous moments, and it just clicked, and realized that there is a need for what we were building. And that's so eventually we shut down the design studio and started building this full time after 2 years. I mean, that journey is very perilous, a lot of hazards, a lot of learnings about how to ship big packages and all that. And then came the second product over there called Herb Station, a smaller, much more beautiful version of it. And then the third one was Pico. So Pico raised about a little more than $2 million. And it was such a big surprise for us that it gave the affirmation that we were doing something right. And yeah, so, and further we built more and more products. And so that's the crowdfunding journey that we had.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Indiegogo, we wouldn't exist as a company, we wouldn't exist in this vertical. So yeah, that's where we are.
Well, that's fantastic. And I'm glad to know that you were surprised by $2 million. If not, I was going to have to say, is this some kind of deep fake down here? Because as you live and breathe, that's a lot of money. And you did it on Indiegogo. So that's super cool. So super cool. Ray, what brought you to Indiegogo, my friend?
I think I'm a consumer myself, and I shop on Indiegogo. I back projects. I've also, I think everyone's an Amazon customer, so I'm a customer of Launchpad as well. And so when I started the company and we looked for ways to get out to market, Indiegogo was a pretty natural choice. And I think this was back in 2016. Indiegogo, I knew people there too. And so I think Ben Bateman, way back.
Whoa!
Super friendly.
Ben Bateman right there. That is for Indiegogo old timers, a legend. So, but go on.
Yeah. He had like book recommendations, everything. Anyway, but I visited their office. You guys were super great about not just providing the platform, but really helping us and me as a first-time entrepreneur, first time ever launching a product to the market, really kind of hone the strategies and the kind of the execution of the first campaign, which we had no idea how it was going to turn out, but we ended up, I think, in the first one raising around 800K.
Yeah,
which blew my socks off because we had a target of 50,000 or something. And that launched our company.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about that, because you've launched campaigns on Kickstarter, our competitor. I'm going to probably oops, but and then you've also launched campaigns on Indiegogo, and you just brought up something that I think is something that I want to touch on, because in an entrepreneur's journey in bringing a product to life, it's this differentiation between our two platforms, and I'm sure you brought saw a lot of value in this, because it's as prudent as it is prescient. Now, you got to speak to crowdfunding experts like myself at Indiegogo. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think, and I have nothing bad to say about Kickstarter either. They're great too.
Sure.
I think Indiegogo, one thing that I saw that's unique is the understanding that the Indiegogo part obviously entails a lot of execution strategy, and you guys are super helpful there. Have teams that help ensure that the probability of success is highest. But on top of that, and I'm sure this gets into Amazon too, the launch of that product on a crowdfunding platform is just the beginning, right? Then you got to build the company and sell to the masses, and that crossing the chasm is incredibly hard. And I think you guys also realize that and have a lot of resources, and here we are talking, also with Amazon too, right? So I think you guys are very helpful to creators and really kind of entrepreneurs on that front too.
Yeah. And Ray, that right there, my friend, perfect segue. And we're about to bring in my esteemed co-host over here from Amazon here in one moment. But let me ask the opening question now that we're essentially at the next phase in the journey, and that's post crowdfunding. So tell me, what happened after your crowdfunding campaigns end, and what did you learn or help guide you into Amazon? We'll open it there. And I'm gonna direct that question over here to Aaron.
I mean, when you launch, crowdfunding is one of the most intensive activities that you do as a founder or a creator, because you need to do so much in a very short period of time. You know, a lot of people, a lot of effort, and a lot of luck goes into it. A lot of planning and execution as well. And after the campaign, after the money is with you, then your mission becomes, your sole mission and purpose becomes how to keep those promises. Because if you don't keep those promises, you can't do it again. You know, those are closed for you. So the real game begins after you end a campaign, where take those resources, build a product, and building hardware is not easy. So many challenges come across. You know, so many. You will see Murphy's Law every day going up. You know, in the thing. And once a product is almost in a shippable state, and all the while people are getting impatient or anxious, they're excited to check your products out. So you know, you're in the shipping mode. By the time you complete shipping, you know, Pico got shipped to 140 countries, 135 countries. So that's a big task in itself. Post shipping, you know, you are out of resources, and you are pretty much, you want to, but then you have built the capacity to produce the product. So I'm sure Ray would agree with me on this one. So you have now the capacity to build the products, and you want to launch it. That is where so Indiegogo at this stage has been helpful in helping, you know, finding those customers for you, finding a very supportive audience set for you. And now the time is for a bigger platform, or a different kind of a thing. But when you reach so obviously the next choice becomes Amazon or Shopify or whatever. But Amazon is the place to be. But
Absolutely.
Then you are among millions of other listings and a lot of other competitors. So how do you get ahead in that? That is where Launchpad comes in. So if someone has a great idea in hardware, crowdfunding through Indiegogo is a good place to, you know, find your early customers, get your early traction, get your thought process validated, make sure that you're ready to scale. And then through Launchpad, you're actually, you know, pole vaulting into the front end of Amazon.
Yeah.
So this is how I would frame it.
Well, thank you for that. And one thing very quickly I want to address here is you mentioned Murphy's Law, and I'm glad you did. You know, in one thing that we pride ourselves on here at Indiegogo is mitigating the risk around your campaign. And so that's one of the great things about working with crowdfunding experts. And now I want to bring in here Marion. Marion, get in here. I know you're clamoring to get some questions in over here.
And Aaron gave a perfect segue, mentioning Amazon was the place to be for him as a next step. So Aaron and Ray, you talked about, you know, your crowdfunding journey on Indiegogo. I'd love to know, why did you decide to sell in Amazon's online store, and maybe also learn how you prepared your business to shift focus to Amazon. So maybe Ray, you can touch on that, because Aaron talked a little bit about that transition.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm a big customer on Amazon Launchpad. I love new, unique, innovative products. And so when it came time to thinking about how to create a launching pad, so to speak, for my own product to the broader market, it was a natural segue for us to look at and ultimately join. Arun said it well. I mean, the initial Kickstarter, Indiegogo kind of crowdfunding type of campaign, there's a lot of work that goes into launching it and then shipping out. We had 90 countries we had to ship out to, so that was like the first 6 months of 12 months of work, and then we had to cross the chasm. We did look at a multi-platform strategy. So we had Amazon and we had our own website, but nobody knows to type in like hellowind.com, right? Like the only way to get traffic there is to like ads and getting your own kind of backers to get on an email list or something, referrals, etc. But Amazon's not everybody gets on, and I think Launchpad just allowed us to to market to new audiences, right? And there were, as you guys had mentioned, a number of programs to help get discovered, right? And we continue to benefit from that. And I would say the benefit to all those people who are either running their own company or looking at launching something new, it's not just in the revenue that you sell. I think through just being out there, right? Being on Indiegogo, being on Amazon Launchpad, it probably results in us getting discovered by a lot of other companies that ended up being partners of ours. Retailers, we were in the Apple Store, Best Buy, we were on QVC. So like all that happened, I think, because of just being out there. And I think the exposure that you get, in addition to obviously selling, and the revenue is immense, and investors too. So
Love that.
well, that's great.
Thank you, Ray. Arun, anything to add on your transition from that crowdfunding experience to launching, going big on Amazon? How did you prepare your business to shift to that? Were you ready in terms of inventory, manufacturing? I know supply chain was difficult with the pandemic. How did it go for you?
I mean, it was a heavy lockdown here for us after the Pico campaign. But all of our team we shut the door down and went inside, and we were working day and night here to get the packages out. And so all that said and done. So when you come to Amazon, you would want visibility. You would want to be, like I said, the capacity is there to produce. And then being on Amazon, you are in a sea of a lot of other people. So Launchpad gives you these tools like premium A+ listing, which is like a mini website in yourself, by itself, where you can explain better what your idea was. The beauty of crowdfunding platforms is you have unlimited vertical scrolls where you can add the GIFs and videos and photos and testimonials. But Amazon is only a small window there. But the premium A+ is like a mini website in itself. Plus there was this Wine program which allowed us to ship a lot of products to a lot of people for early reviews. So yeah, all these tools, plus it gives you a window on the main Amazon page during Black Friday and other places where without the reason being, why do we need all this? It's because after a campaign you're pretty much out of funds, or you're really tight with your with your resources that you have. So this partnership between Indiegogo and Amazon, through Launchpad, you get front row seat, front row visibility, which is priceless. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. And I think that's a great, Stacy, to talk more about that Launchpad experience, right? So Arun, you mentioned Launchpad quite a bit already. How did you hear about Amazon Launchpad in your journey? Was this recommended to you by our friends at Indiegogo, or did you hear about it from a founder, or found about it online?
I think someone from Launchpad had reached out to us after they saw our success on Indiegogo. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, that's often what our brand recruitment team will do. We found a lot of very exciting, unique products on Indiegogo, and we'll reach out to founders and invite you to apply. Ray, was that a similar experience? How did you hear about Launchpad in your journey?
I think from multiple sources. There's a pretty tight-knit community of founders here in Silicon Valley who do smart hardware. Definitely was true 7 years ago, still true now, and I think there were other brands that were a little bit earlier than us and launched on Launchpad, and also went through crowdfunding at Indiegogo. I think Casey, you and I have known each other for a long time as well. Casey, we met up and he reached out. So yeah, through multiple different sources.
Yeah, I think Ray and I first met at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas in 2017.
Yep, we were in the basement. I think what do they call that?
The Eureka Park.
Eureka Park. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's where you will find us as well.
Yeah, perfect. So shifting gears a little bit and more into Amazon Launchpad, I'd love to know kind of what features and benefits that you guys have utilized that you found most impactful for your business. Arun, you talked a little bit about using Premium A+. Ray, are there other tools that you've found to be particularly useful, whether it's different marketing campaigns or different way to better tell your brand story, things like that within Amazon?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we definitely took full advantage of the more unique landing page, the A+. I think there were a number of marketing programs. We've probably been through, I think our first Black Friday that we launched was back in 2017. So since then, it's been 5 or 6 different holiday seasons and Prime days. And so definitely very much appreciate the opportunity to apply and get into some of those programs to get traffic and be discovered. We did not do Vine yet, but there's many things that I'm even learning right now about ways we can, further, work with Launchpad. And so there's definitely more avenues we want to try as soon as possible.
That's great. And Arun, any other specific benefits that you found to be most useful for your business as far as Launchpad goes?
I think it's those deals and these visibility windows. I mean, why would Amazon put us on the homepage, a startup, outside of Launchpad? Why would, you would kill to be there, but they would put whatever is selling big. It's a novel. I think it's a noble thing to give startups the space on one of the most trafficked places on the internet. So these deals and windows help you make a lot of quick short-term sales on Prime Day, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. So yeah, that's the thing we covered the most.
Absolutely.
Besides team of Marian and her team, they are very supportive in terms of getting back. Amazon, the other customer support it's dangerous place, but with Launchpad you get much more personalized, much more we talk to a person here and we know that she'll come back in a day or two with legit solutions. So yeah, so that's the thing.
I also want to say, I mean, even just like this type of event, right? And I've been very lucky. We've been very lucky to participate in a number of other kind of partner programs and marketing opportunities to tell our story. I think Launchpad has been above and beyond in terms of handholding us and giving us exposure through things like sharing our story, right? And hopefully giving some good advice along the way. I remember maybe I think it was pre-pandemic, but like Amazon Launchpad sent professional videographers to our office and recorded an interview and a story that was widely publicized, right? Like these are the things that that I wouldn't have imagined a company as big as Amazon would do for a small growing company like us, but it happened. So and we appreciate that.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely been a big priority and focus for Launchpad, is really to help and tell the brand stories. When you look at a listing on Amazon, you really have one shot to talk about, hey, here's what my product does, but here's what my brand is all about. So utilizing video content and figuring out ways to better interact with the customers can definitely help move the needle. And one other piece, and Arun, you'd kind of mentioned this a little bit in terms of running deals and talking about seasonality, but for some brands, they might have just a peak selling season, then it's condensed to a couple months depending on what their product is, if it's giftable or whatever the case is. Do you guys see with your product you have kind of ebbs and flows in terms of your sell through, or are there certain months where you guys really have to try to ramp up, and how do you manage that, I guess, throughout the course of the year?
My product, although it's an all-season product, all 5 of our products, the organic window for gardening is mostly in the spring season of North America, March to June, July perhaps, and then we have the holiday season between October to December. So once you're out of the crowdfunding, once you're out of the early days of manufacturing difficulties and all that, once you're in business, then it's all about managing your inventory, managing your cash flow, make sure your logistics is in place, make sure your marketing is aligned to your your availability of stock, and predicting the demand, all of that. So it's an art, it's a science, and I would say we are very early into that game. It's only been I guess 2 years on Amazon, and 3-4 months on Shopify. So we are a very early brand. Our first 5 years went into building a product range. I don't think that's how everybody else does it. So the thing about crowdfunding here is it allows you to experiment with your product. It allows you to ascertain your or validate your assumptions about your product and all before you go all out. This product, for example, the Pico, the thing with which we shot the video and the photographs and all, it was made with proto mold and 3D printed, painted samples and all. We thought we would hit $100,000. It was a pandemic. People were at home. I apologize for the camera. It's dancing all over the place. With the beauty of crowdfunding is it gives you the possibility to launch products and validate your assumptions and find out if there is a legit demand for those. Is there an audience for your product? Whereas coming to post a campaign, you have to be, it's a different mindset where you need to balance out these different verticals of production, logistics, inventory management, and shipping and all that. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but vaguely speaking, it's all about making these guesses and trying to make them work.
Yeah, and since you mentioned crowdfunding here, I want to jump back in here. Old Stacy over here, he has a tough time being quiet, but I want to direct the next question over here to my esteemed co-hosts. So, what about these brands caught you all's eye to bring them into Launchpad and the Launchpad program?
Yeah, absolutely. So, from our point of view, both these startups have product that is innovative and unique in the market. And these companies are also taking more of a holistic approach to building a brand. They're leveraging social media to drive awareness. They have great creative content on their website and on their Amazon listing. They're very engaged with their business, as obviously evident of, you guys your willingness to join the conversation today. So, really folks that are investing in the brand and kind of at the leading edge of innovation and disrupting the market.
Yeah. Well, now that we're kind of talking about, the leading edge and being at the proverbial vanguard, so there's always, once you're there, there's always, people want to know what's next. And especially for, we got 2 brands over here that have found so much success on Indiegogo and then on Amazon Launchpad as well. Tell me a little bit, well, Ray, let's begin with you. Tell me a little bit about, your journey, and what's next. The learnings that you brought from your journeys for 2 products now that informs your now, and then that informs the direction of where you intend to take Wind.
Yeah, I feel like I've experienced a whole lifetime journey through, starting the company till now, and obviously there's a lot more to go. But we started with one product. We launched it on crowdfunding on Indiegogo and had no idea where that was springing. Long story short, fast forward to now, we're in about 50,000 homes. We're continuing to drive the residential market. Obviously with COVID, that's a whole new problem statement that people have. And it's not just in, the polluted places or places with a seasonal wildfire here and there. Every single built environment residential and commercial are now our applicable market. And over the pandemic, we've definitely expanded quite a lot. There's new products launching on monitoring, on analytics, on automation of the environment, both for homes as well as for commercial. Like we're in Marriott hotels and schools and Fortune 100 offices selling, the same type of technology, just applied a little bit differently. And so definitely, I feel like the opportunity for our company in this current, environment is now to kind of really build it up, right? And we raised, thanks to all of your guys' help, we raised almost $20 million from venture capitalists to really fund our future growth. I'm excited about the future, and couldn't have been possible without you guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Arun, please share, what is it, what are your takeaways from the previous campaigns that we've discussed here that inform your current perspective? Same question from Ray. And then, where does that perspective, what's your vision into the post-COVID future?
We have two distinct product lines. First one being home farms like those. Second one being a planned parenting products like this. So I just came back from Dubai yesterday, and my host is a big name in the hydroponic space. They took me to a farm in the middle of the desert, proper desert, like not even camels or date palms or nothing, just proper desert. And inside those huge tents, what they were growing? They were growing tomatoes, they were growing mushrooms and saffron and all sort of crazy things. So the cutting edge of hydroponics is where the future of food is.
Yeah.
So through our products, we are trying to get some of that advancement in technology. The LED, the grow lights that we pioneer in the industry. Those LED chips which help you grow around the year, or growing without soil at home. So we are trying to what's the word I'm looking for? We are trying to take that idea and adopt it into the indoor, the home growing space.
Right.
What's next for us is potentially maybe look at high medicinal plants or something like that, fully automated, fully high tech, fully automated kind of system. So that's what we are leaning into.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like, hydroponics are most certainly the future of farming. The future of farming is hydroponics, the lighting that you mentioned, and then also vertical farming. And it's just super exciting to be all around, and, entrepreneurs who are looking to get into any of those exciting new areas, or just looking to start their own business themselves. The advice that I always like to give these is, give these entrepreneurs is access to resources is going to be the most constraining factor in one's success. And that's a great thing about working with Indiegogo, where you have access to crowdfunding experts and an extensive network of partnerships that are exclusive to our platform. And then with Amazon, you have your own just access to this just global massive audience. But what advice would, Arun, would you give entrepreneurs about who are looking to, bring an idea to life?
I would look at crowdfunding as not the best solution, as not the place to get money. Rather, build a product and use crowdfunding at the last step of your development to find your audience, and be prepared to ship pretty soon when the excitement is there for you. When the demand and the excitement is out there. Because if you do it right, these early backers who have put money to in your product as pre-orders, knowing that there's no refund, or knowing that this is not Amazon where you can change your mind and give a return your product and get your money back. So these are people who are passionately believing in your product. So do not, be prepared to, I would rather, I would rather do a campaign when you are absolutely certain that you will ship, so that you can take full advantage of the audience that is out there to back you and be your ambassador along the way.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I speak to entrepreneurs daily, and in these daily conversations, I feel as if there's always this rush to get into just, let's bring this product to market. I don't, they box themselves in with this idea of, I'm going to launch on October 19th. And I just took this, I hope this content stays green, by the way. I just dated the date. But so they look like they're going to bring it to they box themselves in with this, but you're absolutely right. It's a meticulous journey in making sure that you are prepared with a final prototype that will be what the backers get, and then ultimately is what will be sold on Amazon Launchpad up here. If one that does not do that, there's so much risk around a long-term hurting of one's brand by not living up to your audience's expectations. And I'm going to turn the floor over now to Ray. What advice do you have?
I would say just talk to lots and lots of people. If you haven't done a crowdfunding campaign, or really this is just general advice, I mean, even building a business, just consume information. There's tons of resources out there. Indiegogo, you guys publish a really wonderful ebook that I read and reread. Just talk to other creators, talk to the platforms. When we were planning on launching our first ever crowdfunding, I had no idea how to do it. I never launched anything from a product perspective before. And so I just consumed information. That was probably the first 2 to 3 months, and I still have that mentality. I think as a creator, as a founder, you just have to be a constant learner. So the good news is you guys are there, for them, and I just encourage people to continue doing that. That's I know that's super general and maybe very intuitive advice, but I can't speak enough about that.
You mentioned getting book recommendations, Ray. You got some book recommendations from your friends at Indiegogo. Any particular books for entrepreneurs out there as they?
Ben is an English major, so his books were not like business recommendation related. I have tons of book recommendations. I mean, if you're building a company, probably the best book, and it's a Silicon Valley thing, is called High Output Management. It just takes like kind of organization management to a more mathematical approach versus complete, random guessing. Written by Andy Grove, who was the CEO of Intel. He was, mentored Steve Jobs even, right? So that book's a classic.
Nice.
One other piece as well, when you talk about just consuming as much information as possible and chatting with as many people as you can, but did you leverage feedback that you got from backers, or feedback that you got on your Amazon reviews to help either create new products or further iterate or create new versions? Did you use those mechanisms to help make adjustments?
We definitely did. Yeah, I think as a company, I want a company to be constantly learning as well. So the feedback from customers is invaluable. And this is also one of the reasons I think you pointed the same thing. Like, we didn't just launch on crowdfunding just to get money. We wanted to be able to ideally, get the right feedback before we even complete all the software and the fleshing everything out and ship out the first unit, right? And then on Amazon, it was more continual learning as well. I did want to say one thing that I learned. I think I still take this piece of advice to this day, and I tell my own team this. Ben told me this actually. So basically, his advice when we were launching is a product is a doorway to an experience. And all too often, people market the door, not the experience. So as an example, our product, our first product, this personal portable smart air purifier, we could have said, this air purifier, it has 938 holes, and it has like this airfoil thing. It has these like lights everywhere, there's buttons, there's an app, and that's all the door, right? That's just like, this door is made of titanium and has bulletproof glass and stuff. People don't care about that. They need to know, like, what is the experience that you want them to feel? Is it going to make them feel safer? Is it going to make them feel like they don't forget anything anymore? Or, whatever it is, faster, stronger, be able to play the violin better or something, right? Like, that's what they care about. And so you got to lead with that. All that other stuff is just supporting material. And I think that's super useful for anybody who's looking to, market or launch anything.
That's great advice.
Awesome. Well, you guys, I want to bring this in. We're coming up on the hour here, and we're coming up on time, which, believe it or not, I can tell. So, what I would like to do is, now that we're kind of wrapping up here, we're gonna bring in our entrepreneurs here in a second. But I got some questions for the Amazon Launchpad team over here. Casey, Marion, let's chat for a moment. So, what do I need to be selling in Amazon's online store to join Amazon Launchpad?
Yeah. Well, so we actually welcome all entrepreneurs and brand owners with unique and innovative products. So that's really the reason why we reach out to the founders at Win and Ultifarm. Now, starting this year, we also expanded our selection criteria. So we also welcome products that are certified in the Climate Pledge Friendly program on Amazon. And we also welcome certified Black-owned businesses to apply. We work with both new and existing sellers on Amazon. As long as you have a professional account, you've listed your products on Amazon's online store in the US for less than 4 years, and you've generated less than $5 million in the trailing 12 months, then you would qualify to apply to Launchpad. So there's an application process. I think we'll share the link in the chat, but we will evaluate your application and provide a response within 7 to 10 business days. So it's fairly quick to get an answer back from us.
That's awesome. Now, are there any additional costs associated with Amazon Launchpad, Casey?
Yeah, so for Launchpad US, there is no additional fee. As of August 29th, there's no additional fee for Launchpad brands. So they get access to all the features and benefits. They pay their standard fees that they would for having a seller account within Amazon.
Gotcha. And now, Casey, Marion, this is going to be a hot potato. So who's the quickest answer in the West? That's what I want to know. So who's eligible to participate in the Amazon Launchpad program?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier. So like innovation, really what we're looking for. And then if you are an existing seller on Amazon and you have that certification, Climate Pledge Friendly, you'd be eligible as well for Launchpad. And specifically in the US, if you're a certified Black-owned business, that would put you in the right third category to be eligible for Launchpad. But really apply to Launchpad if you feel like you have an interesting product for our Amazon customers, and we'll take a look and reach back.
No, I like that very much. Casey, very quickly here, I just want to ask, are there any, what's the criteria for participation in the Launchpad marketing events, by the way?
Yeah, so typically, as far as marketing goes and getting marketing placement within Launchpad, so brands have to maintain a rating of at least 3.5 stars on their listing and have at least 5 reviews. And then they also have to be utilizing Amazon fulfillment, is what we call FBA. So brands ship their product in bulk to Amazon fulfillment centers, and then we warehouse and pack and ship the product as the orders come in. And that enables your product listing to have the Prime badge on it, so it's Prime eligible.
Gotcha. And, kind of pivoting to some of the more common questions that I get here at Indiegogo, when should I launch? How many emails should I have? What kind of marketing budget? All of that. I'm co-host emeritus of Indiegogo's Go Time podcast. And these are very common questions. We would joke around almost on every episode about a lot of different stuff. It's very good content for those out there who are curious about crowdfunding. But the answer is really, it's all relative. And it's unfortunate that I can't put any hard numbers or anything on it. But in the event that you have questions, things of that nature, looking to bring a product to market, or maybe just looking for somebody to play a game of Scrabble with online. Very much like the Scrabble. Email me, Stacy@indiegogo.com. I'm here to answer any of your questions you have. But before we get going and I start saying our goodbyes to dear listener, I want to make for sure, Arun and Ray, that you guys get a last word in here. Ray, we'll begin with you.
Well, I appreciate the time and the audience. I think this journey is exciting for all the people who are probably listening and looking to start their own campaign. If people have any questions, I want to give back as well, so people can feel to reach me. I don't know if you guys are disseminating emails and all that. I'm just appreciative. I thank the Indiegogo team, the Amazon team for helping us, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Right on. Thank you. Arun, do you have a last word over here? It's okay to say no, but I'm looking at that gregarious face over here. I know you got something to say. Lay it on us.
Really humbled to be here. You know, if I can do it, I mean, any other guy with a hardware idea can really make it big on using these beautiful platforms. So Indiegogo is a place to make your ideas come to life, and Launchpad and Amazon is a place where you would scale and make money out of it. So yeah, really thankful for the opportunity. And along the journey, many people have been kind enough to give advice, opinion, time on what to do with what, different situations. So likewise, I'm all up for, if anybody has questions about launching or scaling or content creation or finding agencies or something, hit me up, arun@altifarm.com. I'll be really happy to take a look and maybe even give you some recommendations. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and Marion. Marion, Casey, you all have any last words you want to say?
Well, I want to thank Arun and Ray for their time, and I also want to say congratulations on their successes, because they had fabulous crowdfunding campaigns on Indiegogo, and we're so glad to have them both in the Launchpad program, and again, sharing back with the community, sharing advice. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Marion.
Perfect. And to echo that as well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who dialed in for the webinar today. And then also in the chat, there's a link to the Amazon Launchpad application as well. So for those interested in applying to the Launchpad program, you can fill out a quick application. Our team will review it and we will get in touch with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. And we'll finish going last, but I'm here to just bring it all in. I just want to say thank you. First off, dear viewer, those of you that are in the audience right now, thank you so much. Those of you that will be seeing this content perhaps down the line, greetings and thank you. Also, thank you to Ray, Arun. Thank you for using our platform. We look forward to hosting your future product launches. So please, let's stay in touch there. Casey, Marion, it was great meeting you. Casey, I know you met you a couple times. Thank you. You guys, everyone here was great. Plus, I want to make for sure that I recognize one behind the scene hero over here, and that would be Brittany Baring. She's our producer today. So thank you all, everyone, and we're landing this son of a gun right on time. So thank you all. Have a good rest of your day, and yeah, be chatting with you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.